Uh, Hi Frank, how are you?
Good. How you doing?
Doing great. So this is a perfect movie to talk to you about because I say that Scott and his family are honorary Italians, because of like The Godfather and everything. But this movie does kind of have my whole family's Italian, and this movie has that like vibe that I was like, my family would love this.
Yeah.
It's how they
Yeah.
all talk to each other. But like when you're playing like this character he kind of comes in at the end and he's a little like out there, which the whole movie is, but he specifically is kind of just
Yeah. Frustrated.
really off the walls. How do you come into that as an actor? Is that just something you're like, it's on the page, I'm ready to go, I know what I'm doing, or like what is your process to crafting characters like that?
Yeah, these are characters that serve a purpose. Like they, um, and you can only take them in the movie like in certain little doses. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And remembering that it's like Paulie, the characters, whenever you see him, he's in different levels of frustration.
Mhm.
And you gotta, and that's how I kind of approached it. Like I'm Italian too. I'm all Italian. I'm an Italian citizen. And I grew up in the Bronx, New York, and there was a lot of dopey Italian guys like Paulie in the Bronx. And so they were also unpredictable and emotionally stunted. And that's what this guy is. Do you know what I mean? He doesn't know how to govern his emotions. and it's very black and white. Like if you don't pay him, I'm going to kill you. Like that's how it is. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
And so I think John Schwab crafted it beautifully, because when Paulie is in the movie, there's a level of energy that's kind of infused into it that's different from the rest of the movie. But I thought Scott Conn did an amazing job carrying it and playing that kind of lovable. It's funny because she says to him, I think she said there was a line in the movie where she was questioning his ability to be a hitman,
Yeah.
and he pulled that off beautifully.
Yeah, I agree. But you're so right. Like it's like I think everyone who is Italian has that one uncle who thinks like that or like acts that way. And you're like, why
At least one uncle.
like
Yeah.
why are you still acting like this? But you have kind of mastered the art. Like I'm a big MCU fan. And so like, you've mastered the art of these characters who are like, you come in, you kind of know their whole deal right out the gate, and you're like, I don't know, I can fully trust anything you're gonna do. But I just
Right.
know it's gonna be dangerous. And is that
Yeah.
fun to kind of play like the like the uncertainty like for the audience of what that guy is going to do next?
Yeah, it is. That's really good point. And in movies like where I just jump in and jump out, um, yeah, I mean that's you got to understand what your part in that movie is.
Mm-hmm.
Do you know what I mean? And where the audience is when you show up, and how you serve that, how you serve the script at that point in time. Do
Mm-hmm.
you know what I mean? Like a lot of actors are like, well, I'm like, no, listen, it's great what you want to do. Leave that over there. The audience now needs you to be this,
Yeah.
because this is how we're telling the story. And so I kind of try to understand that when I'm playing characters like this, or like Crossbones, where you just in now a character like Crossbones, who's not in the movie very much,
Mm-hmm.
oddly, everybody remembers.
Mm-hmm.
So you know that you can take roles like that if you understand how to do it, and you can make them equally memorable, if not sometimes more memorable than the guys and the gals that are leading the movie. So it's very interesting acting.
And do you, so like this one is obviously a lot more comedic. You've done comedies, but this one is comedic as a whole in this movie. When you're doing that, and it is kind of like you said, you have those brief moments with him, you kind of know his whole deal, but he's still very funny and like how he's reacting to this stuff. Do you get to play around at all with that? Like, do you get to do any improv with it? So like spread, like to explore that character more, or are you kind of just like, nah, I was there. I knew what I was doing and I knew my goal
Yeah.
about this.
Yeah, no, it's a great question. A lot of it's there, and in movies like this that are small, look, the director, who's a friend of mine at this point, they're looking for you to come in and elevate,
Mhm.
right? They're looking and counting on you to bring something that's as good as it is on the page, to bring some, because these are all very colorful people. You know, like you said, that one uncle. You know, you can't, you know, the madder that uncle gets, the more you're laughing. Because he's preposterous, you know, he's incredulous. And so there's no way to get that excited, even on screen with a camera in your face, and not have shit just pop into your head and pop out of your mouth. And that's what makes guys like that funny. They just say shit that half the time doesn't make sense. And to me, that's what's hysterical.
Oh yeah, and it is very much like I'm the, like, you know, the young kid in my family, so every time like someone starts yelling like that, I'm like, what the hell are you talking about? Like, and I'm just sitting in the corner watching.
Right.
And that's
and you know what's great? I don't know how it is in your family, but in my crazy Italian family, people will almost, their eyeballs will pop out. That's how angry and uncontrolled they are. 3 minutes later,
it's done.
They're asking if there's any more gravy for the pasta or whatever it is. You know what I mean? It's like, it's so bizarre. Like their emotions they're just responding in the nanosecond that, and there's no they're not governing it. It's fascinating. And it's very Italian.
Oh yeah. And it's very funny because it's, when people come into my family who are not Italian, they're like, your brother just like flipped out on your mom for like an hour. And now they're eating together. It's like, yeah, it happened. Like,
yeah, no, that was my mother and father. I mean, they were together since they would scream at each other at the table, and then my mother would say, "Pat, you want some meat? You want some meat?" And I'd be like, "You should get divorced. What do you mean? Does he want any meat? Are you crazy?"
There's always a Pat, because I had my dad and my brother were Pats.
Oh, my father was Pasquale.
My dad was the one that was not Italian, and so he called himself Pasquale, so then he fit in with the rest of the family.
That was my father's name, Pasquale.
So he was like, I'll fit in with the rest of the family, and he called himself Pasquale. We were like, okay, Dad. Yeah. But with a movie like this, it is kind of fun, and like this character does come in, and you're just like, yep, I know his deal. What do you hope audiences take away when they get to see One Day as a Lion?
You know, just how talented Scott Caan is. You know, because this was his baby, and I thought he just wrote a really cool, fun, character-driven, 70s style flick, and yeah, I just how talented Scott Caan is. I mean, you know, and without Scott Caan, none of we were all there for Scott, and to make it as good as we could make it. And this is this is a film that is about a bunch of people coming together because they want to do something for a pal. And I think that's when you get some good stuff.
Yeah, I think that it made it so much better just because, like, I know Scott Caan because, like, my whole family loved his dad, and like I saw him on TV, but it's nice to see him kind of show what he can do, because like he's been on Hawaii Five-0 for so long that it was like
forever
nice to kind of see him.
Yeah, he has. He kind of, and it's the seduction of Hawaii Five-0 is you're backing the Brinks truck up to the bank every Friday because they pay you so much money. It's hard to kind of walk away from that. But Scott is so much more. He's got so much more to offer, and I'm sure he'll be directing at some point too. But yeah, he's great, and I'm glad people are responding positively to the movie. Everybody in the movie is really good and fun. I saw the movie recently on the big screen, and even for as little as it costs to make it, it works on the big screen. It's really interesting.
Yeah, it's very fun, and like the tone, like the indie type of it ruled. Thank you so much for talking to me today. I really appreciate it. I always like to Italian out with people.
Me too, man. I love just in Italy. I love anything Italian. Everyone Italian is my family. So
thank you so much. Have a great day.
You too.
Bye.
Bye.